All right. It is so cold over here. Uh, the weather has been changing so much. It's amazing. I have all this gray hair in my hair as well. Let everybody know I'm conscious of that. I might not be perfect for people, and that's just fair, because they're not perfect enough for me. So I'm glad they noticed, because I noticed that they're not perfect for me either. People are running around in the land of perfectionism with their heads cut off like lost chickens. They really think that they need to advance and improve their life even more when they have all the luxuries in the world, they have everything they need. And it's all because things are not perfect enough for them. And they're dissatisfied with their lives. They don't like their bodies. They've raised their kids. They've been good Christians or whatever. But things don't seem to work out where they are loved properly. And so what they do, especially in the Christian church, is they're prejudiced against people like you. Okay. And what they do is they try to minimize your suffering and they try to humiliate you because they already have more money than you. Okay, let's just or say this. And oh, today we're talking about gay men who are still rejected. Okay, and this is like the millennial, like 2022, and this is why we need a social alchemy project access management kind of thing. But we need a project because gay men continue to be rejected. And this project deals with this very fine line between churches that are very affirmative with gays, because churches have become so much more affirmative and supportive. And then we go in the streamline of like the Christians that still don't accept gay people. Okay. And these Christians don't have gay people in their lives. So they don't know how wonderful these people are. Every single day I wake up fighting my own self-hatred and my own self-criticism and my own perfectionism and my own discouragements and limitations on my creativity and doubting my homosexuality because of the Christians. Every day I fight the brainwashing they did. I was raised at a very young age to believe that if I own my feelings and accept that my feelings have validity, okay? Because sometimes people say your feelings aren't real. Even though things are happening, your feelings aren't real. Your feelings are always real because they have a backstory and they have a reason for being there in the present moment in a circumstance where they're not being real. They're making things up. But the core of the trauma of the feelings that happen within a person because something was triggered, so feelings are real. So people are running around saying that your feelings aren't real. And if you think they're real, and if you live a pleasurable, joyful life, and you're happy and you live your bliss, God will do evil things to your body for the rest of your life. I was taught that. So I learned to not eat. I learned to become anorexic. I learned to be an attention whore. I learned to yell in people's face if I'm not getting camaraderie. When I was in elementary, I was walking home from school, and children would kick my shins and put bruises and blood on my shins, and my parents did nothing about it. They transferred me to another school to go to a private education so I wouldn't be bullied. But I had family members bullying me and using religion. And so my friends have rejected me because I was not perfect enough for them, because I was showing them that I need their friendship. I'm lonely today. I'm having a hard time. And they'll call my parents, and they'll badmouth me, and my parents will take sides and go for what they say versus me. And I mean, this is like 20 years ago of a friendship from high school I'm trying to reclaim. And she's now calling my dad to create problems. So my dad's prejudiced against me, or my mom's against me, or my sister's against me. So the gay man is still rejected. I've had so many, it's 2019, And I've had so many anti-gay sentiments put against me with Christians in my family and not outside my family. I've even had people put me down that aren't even Christians that have a lot of money because I wasn't showing more money than what they wanted to see at my age of 48. I know. So, prejudice is not only centered on the Christians being racist, be married to God, be married to Jesus, but hate your sexuality, or Jesus is your groom and the church is the bride, and so spread eagle your legs because Tyler Hamilton's a homosexual, and Jesus says, uh, drink and eat of me, and I feel like a vampire, and it's homoerotic. And Jesus says, come, all you little children, unto me. And the Christians are acting like Jesus isn't a pedophile. I mean, it's like shock rock. It's like, sorry, duh, I didn't mean to impinge on the non-blasphemy God that you have, but your God is a racist God. Your God says, be married to me and love Jesus, and I'm going to do personal things to your life that's going to affect your sexuality. God doesn't work that way when he saves us or he makes ultimatums with us and makes a deal with us. Jesus does not play with tug-of-war with your baggage. So I'm here dumping my baggage, but I need friends to help me. And so I've had a lot of prejudice against me from overweight women that probably had a crush on me because I was gay. They started to hate me. So I keep getting rejected, and so do people. And because people have weight scarred issues, people are dealing with weight scars, and they're judgy with people, and they're stingy to show their time, and they're nitpicky, they're troublemakers, they're narcs, and they're not willing to be your friend, but they'll reject you and drag you straight to jail, and they'll ignore you, and you'll scream and tell them that you feel defeated and you feel invisible and you're suicidal, and they don't give any care to you. They don't give you any attention because you are gay. Now, this type of people are well aware of what they're doing, and because I am making these videos, I am fancying into a new age, into a millennial, new Christchurch, new America, but not what they have been taught should be as. Because people are entitled, queenie cunts, and they're cold, and they're bad people, and they're not happy with their lives, and they're rotten, and when you do nice things to them, it's not worth it because there's no bang for your buck, because they're not willing to see your intention is to communicate spiritually and to be of a prayerfulness and to be open to the new normal and the stream of consciousness that you're allowed to be you, and God is not out to destroy you and do evil things to your body like a sadomasochist for many years, for eternity, because you didn't drink Jesus' blood and I don't know, whatever. So it's about arts, truth, justice, social institutions, and government. And we are all cohabitats in a gay straight. I want us to get women out of the picture now because those examples of what I was telling you about how I keep getting rejected and why there's a project happen to be because of women. And these women, some of them will even say that they'll call you back, and they don't because they're flakes. Then when they're flakes, that's when I encourage calling them and cussing them out, because when people are flakes to you, they're showing high levels of disregard and disrespect. Now, a lot of people don't like me because of stuff I've said, but if you pour into all of the fakeness in a life that you have, you realize a very superficial world, and you think you need to be certain things with people and drive a certain car. And it's really the fakes versus the narcissists. And, we have a different avenue of beliefs and rules and enlightenment and sciences and religion of philosophy and reasoning, but we all have will and we all can accept knowledge. And whether you're an atheist or a Jesus junior high thumper racist God that says God hates fags, you can realize that you're rejecting your own self and you're making yourself sick by the indirect communication and by the passive aggressiveness and not really even picking up the phone and calling you. or myself and righting a wrong. People have a lot of pride and they think that's okay because they're busy making money, socially stratifying. Pardon me, I can barely even speak. I have to put in dentures. They have more money than what they know to do with. And when you talk about emotional problems, they think you should be over it because they've turned the back on people in their family and they have learned to be very curt, very crude, very judgmental, but very nice to people to get what they want, to kiss ass, to buy. This is what Americans do. This is you, or you're probably the other people, actually, because if you're American, you're as mentally ill as all of us. Because psychologists are writing, it's in the literature, that everybody has a little mental illness. So if you can't understand the manscaping I'm doing, I'm basically metaphorically shaving your testicles so that you can understand what we're discussing. But Americans bite around the bush and tell you what you want to hear. They beg and they scream for you to tell them the truth, and you give them the truth, and they run the other way because they're cowards. People don't have integrity. Yes, they have integrity. They don't lie to the IRS, let's say, but they don't have enough integrity. And, Jesus doesn't work that way. So you need to ask yourself, what does it mean to really make a difference? Okay, at Social Alchemy Project Access Management, where we're helping people to put in their minds the correct thinking and to re-engineer their thinking so we could help men deal with their mistakes and have a learning energy center or energy learning center in Beverly Hills for men like Donald J. Trump or anybody, Tom Cruise, or people that aren't letting you raise the quality of life because they're jealous of you and they're telling you to be the best you can, but yet they look at you with disdainment and they ruin your own lighthouse and they make you feel lesser than. And that is part of the scarcity thinking, the debtors thinking, and nobody is doing right for you. Okay, I realize that nobody is doing right for Tyler and Hamilton, so now it's time to really come down into my soul because I'm being told I don't have a soul. People are telling me that. I lecture about the soul. I don't know why people are judging me like that. It's racist Christians is what it is. But when well, I'll tell you, if you're in these situations, compare to despair. When you start comparing yourself to people that are prejudiced and you're wondering, well, maybe they're better than you. Maybe they are right. Maybe you are worthy to be disrespected and to be ignored. Maybe you are not a likable person. Maybe you don't accept yourself for your shock rock and your dirty mind and you don't let yourself be nasty. And maybe you have trauma because of religion and the world of principle over personality. And the principle is be perfect, 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 perfect. But you are powerless and you can't be perfect. And sometimes, um, you're just wanting to be an AIDS infested, fire come, Luciferic jack off of people's ass and give them AIDS. I mean, it's like metaphorical, like shock rock. Like you want to be the absolute ugliest and most evilest that you possibly can. And, that's not the way Jesus worked, but that might be the way you worked because you are afraid and you need to understand what does it really mean and does it really matter if I make a difference. You need to see that when you experience life, that could be your evil side or your good side. Now, the Christians will try to tell you you don't have it. They don't want you to believe you're really that bad. They want you to believe that Jesus loves you and Jesus saves you, which is like the partial truth. The truth is that there has to be a relationship you have with yourself to survive. Okay, that's what Church of Scientology teaches with L. Ron Hubbard. It's the first thing is survival. That's why so many people love them. But you have to accept yourself as a hot mess. And when you judge people for being oppressive personalities and you disregard them and you treat them violently and make them lick toilets, or you ravage them up here by having utter disdain for them and showing devotion because you have more money than them, is patronizing. So you have to also think about when you're in the illness of being lonely, how are you helping other people and how are you contributing to the ethical, welcoming, collective consciousness of men in a humane life sustainability? We need to have talks that happen at these churches. We need to talk about self-aggrandizement of how people think they're grand because they really think Jesus loves them more than Jesus loves other people. And they have thoughts of competitiveness and they judge people. And they think that they are productive in life because they have high standards and high morals, but yet you can't talk to them as a person because they are judgy and they want to dominate and they haven't even accepted their own lives. So, where do you understand your own science of your own shaming? At some point, when you're in your 40s, you have to stop thinking they hate me and I got to hide from the world. You have to come forward and be willing to be known, be visible, and you need to increase the benefits of your better thinking and acknowledge the fatherlessness in the nation. It's in men's psychology. It's all about the loss of psychological masculinity. It's about the absent fathers and the lost sons. It's about honing in and cultivating a Superman in a son in a single mother operated household. And there's not a dad in the house. So the secular humanist and the gay straight and the PFLAG, parents of friends of lesbian and gay, and going to Al-Anon and going to the AA meetings, getting involved in canvassing grassroots, pardon me, and not being afraid to be a community organizer, and to have the real estate in you because you weren't taught that you were valuable to increase in equity up here. You were taught to be a renter. And that corruption and your pedophilic landlords and the slumlords and you being told that you're missing the mark and you're sinful and you're paying money to have housing, but you don't have anybody that you can count on. You can't afford to throw people to the ground and to think that you're better than them. There's nobody better than anybody. Everybody's equal. And this whole thing about be best, Melania Trump, or America's the best, Donald J. Trump. Everybody has wonderful, wonderful service to their community as a social science emergency for men. And, they need to hug as many trees as they can and to be blown away by people and for you to come out with a new psychology and be out of all of the public health issues, be out of the closet on that and raise self-efficacy. And these are the things that we're doing at Social Alchemy Project Access Management at a grassroots level. And I'm not getting the love and affection from people that I thought I should have because people are smuggy and nothing's ever perfect enough for them. And they were taught that it's supposed to be because religion, philosophy, and them dissing the psychology of gay men is the answer to public health and making money. That's exclusionary thinking. You need, again, the ethical, welcoming collective consciousness, the democratic consensus to create awareness workshops, to have inclusion, to have open minds, to not be afraid to accept people that are different than you, to let the filthy, gorgeous, gender fuck gay man, gorgeous white trash come forward, and to say, today I have debtors thinking that I'm going to accept myself, and I'm going to accept the lack of connected ideas people have for me because they're connecting with me on power, vacations, good times, parties, superficiality, their splendor based on their eyes of vanity. You may think that you own all of it. Okay, you got to own it, you have to be responsible, it's true. Then you get to a very spiritual basis for that thinking, and you realize, well, you know what, maybe 99% of it is owned by God. I only own 1%. And then somehow you realize you actually own none of it, and God owns 100%. And you realize you need to stop looking around for the happiness on the other side of their yard, your neighbors, when you need to water your own yard. And through the manure is the flowers. I lecture on this. And the imperfection is found in the perfection. Pardon me. The perfection is found in the imperfection, and you can be friends with the friendless, and you can love yourself, and you can learn something about gay law and gay democracy and how the gay militant activist is very altruistic. And it's okay if they are of so spiritual thinking that they have no earthly value. But you can protect people that provide you with these types of challenging thoughts, such as myself as a gay man. And we need to get men to make a commitment to men when it comes to men thinking different about their money hard-ons, their behavior, their raising disease, the increase of prejudice, and, some way to make people happy. Maybe there needs to be an online church for people so people can come to and they can understand that they're not so bad off, and they need to stop thinking so low of themselves because they are separating themselves while they call themselves the aging men. You straight men are aging, but if you're discriminating against gay men because you're still married, I want you to know, ditch the bitch and make the switch. I wouldn't recommend leaving a wife that loves you for a gay culture because I don't think it's worth it. But this is where I am at. And I'm not on the other sides of the track. And if you think I am, then I'm glad you noticed, because I really am. But it's because a system puts people there, like yourself, and you're projecting yourself because it might not be showing you something you want to see. See, when you put your high standards on people and then you judge them for not fulfilling them, you are in the way of other people. And, you gotta like the way you take the peas from out of your rice when you go out to eat Chinese restaurant and you're willing to fuck for Thai food. Are you a whore? So the gay men feel powerless because the American dream became their nightmare. And when people have regrets over themselves and they're derailing and they're going down in a low spiral and they can't deal with their mistakes and they find obnoxious gay men like myself in-house with my Tyler Hamilton publishing and production and company of arts and entertainment, it is not like I'm not doing anything and I'm sitting here like a fairy or a prima donna and I need to be called a homo and be hated. My homosexuality is not ugly sex to go ahead and degrade me. In fact, my work in the lifestyle of a gay man is dealing with projects to help straight men deal with their own misogyny and sexism against women. How does that sound? Because all you men are insecure. So yes, I'm the anti-racist Christ for the Christians. I'm the Antichrist. I am a mental health advocate at Social Alchemy Project Access Management. We are growing up. We're thinking outside the box. We're creating opportunities for meeting new people and getting people to do the good that they want to do and to show up and to show off and to stand and model and flaunt and flirt at a gay bar if they want to. And they don't have to mess with the broken pieces of other people and deal with overwhelming anxiety by trying to rescue people when people are really acting insignificant. When everybody is significant, people are acting insignificant because they're not happy with their significant other, their partner, their lover. People need to start new events and hobbies with other gay men. Okay? You straight men need to start spending time with gay men and finding out you're not going to get molested. You need to deal with something bigger than yourself and say, why do I need to keep controlling people that are poor, that are black, that are even your president, male or female, Republican or Democrat. When you know your own regrets and you see them of others, you can care for others and you can walk past the negative people and you can let them follow you and you can turn around and blow them kisses. You don't have to be an arrogant person as an emotional vampire sucking people in a vile family wrecker type of emotional incest, and you're not coming out of your closets. It's time for you to come out of your closets. Not be so untrue to who you are in social justice prevalence, social justice education prevalence, and democracy promotion without force. So you don't have to be ignored because you're not being spiritually grafted with love, and nobody is taking strategic steps with you to address mentally ill leaders, law and social psychology, and a Christ mind of love, and true psychoanalysis, and of course, socio-spiritual politics. That's really important. Political participation starts right here, right now, with your thinking. What type of workshop as a community organizer are you going to bring to some podcast or whatever? What is the open lounge media for yourself? And do you feel like there's an unavoidable, unfortunate circumstance in a death in your own life for your own virtue or ego or something? You need to reach out to people, many people. They're waiting for you. And when you go out and meet people, you don't need to be strangers to them. You need to be their friend. Now, how do you keep these people that have dicked you over in perspective after you have shunned them because they put the blanket on you, or they built a bridge over you and you're drowning, or they built a wall? What do? You move forward and you ignore them because one day they can just come back to you and then go ahead and deal with uh, reconciling the friendship. There is that political participation right here, right now, by your thinking as a social theorist. Create new theory and ideas. I'm here to help you be enthused in the conversation that attracts the wrong type of energy so that you can learn from. The whole thing in the spiritual kingdom of abundant living and Scientology and many religions and philosophies is that get rid of the negative people. Well, where do they go? Well, they all commit suicide, don't they? So they come here. We don't push the negative people away. We let them be who they are. And people have thrown negative gay people away that are weird, and people have been stuffy to gay people because people have scarcity of housing scarcity, debtors thinking, and they love their low self-esteem as a critical person, beating themselves up, and they want people to lick their pussies, the pussies metaphorically, or suck their dicks metaphorically with AIDS. And that's inflammatory. That's homophobic, inflammatory, and that is breaking a lot of rules if you're speaking to someone like me, or yourself, hopefully. You're not part of this problem. You need to declutter these horrible ideas that you've hoarded within yourself with your spirit, your sentimental memories that are bondage. And if you can't use any of the bad to bring good, then you need to store it away. So these people that are rejecting your work, or obviously our pivotal work in the millennial community developmentalism of addressing the racist Christians, the filthy politics and things like that, and having your new thought Christianity, so to speak. There's experts that talk about it. I'm taking New Thought Christianity literal, and we're taking it to another level. So you go ahead and join the bandwagon with us on that. For a New World Christ Church, a one world religion. Because people are two-faced. And the Christians want more, and they think if you show them more, that means God has blessed you and God has loved you more. And that's not the way Jesus worked. Jesus was a homeless man, and he was poor. So you got to do what you can to increase your self-esteem and your benefits, and make sure that when you go places, that you tell people that you're not going to leave empty-handed, and be upfront about that. People have their own minds made up to screw you over. Okay? Don't walk into the world naive and being everybody's friend and being naive. Okay, you have to not get yourself screwed over and killed and then blame it on me. You need to take everything, with a grain of salt, and you need to test these things that I'm letting you know that work, but it might not work at certain times of your life, but at certain times of the life they may work. So you didn't know that you would become who you are as such a lonely and needy person, as an out-of-the-closet gay man, an angry gay man due to prejudice. And so you're needy and you're reaching out for people to love on you, and they are shaming you and despising you for your poverty, let's say. And your dads and your fathers don't give a shit about you. And this is infinity. It's happening. And it's time for you to have your responsible choices by making decisions, deflect criticism, know something about budgeting your numbers, have the connection to make discussions and get answers from people. You need to chill. You need to own up. Okay, right? Practice gratitude, kingdom bounty thinking. Look at the atrocities, the scarcities, the debtors' choices and intentions that they have. And how people walk all over people and walk all over you and make you play the sick little game by making you a sheeple and making you not question people that have money. The people that have money don't want you to question them. They want to be left in their own type of cliquish thinking because that's their free will, that's their choice, and you cannot control their thinking. That's why you need a learning energy center from this experience that you have regarding something that has set you back, but has set you in a higher emotion to grow, okay, with spiritual challenges and to get in people's face and cuss them out if you need to. And don't let them try to shame you for doing that when they're the ones that shamed you for being gay and threatened you and rejected you and made you invisible and made you feel defeated and homeless. Come as you are, no perfect people allowed. The perfection is in the imperfection. Be a friend of the friendless. Love the unlovely. People don't let you be wonderful, but you will always be wonderful. It doesn't matter that they try to stop you. And, you can go ahead and go forward and not feel like victim mentality. Now, I'm telling people that whole movement of saying, don't be a victim, don't think like a victim, get over it, you be a survivor, get over it. I actually believe in people feeling like a victim. I'm actually taking the secondary role, the approach. When somebody says something as a norm, I think, well, what if it was this as an opposite for mass society with no money? Okay. Money didn't exist in the world. God, Republicans are telling me that I'm going to be thrown into a FEMA camp because I just mentioned that. People are so scared to think about a world without money. They think the IRS is going to murder me because the money is so important to the government. Well, the money's important to everybody, so don't blame it on the government trying to kill me. See, people are very negative on the government as well. If a man, as such, has an STD, he needs a magnitude his mind and a gay-straight alliance of men helping him understand his own mistakes, his public health and global health insurance that he wants to do by thinking different and not acting like mentally ill scum. Morals and shame are for suckers. Have you heard people say that? Who said that? I think, did Donald J. Trump say that? Morals and shame are for suckers. That's a sad reality when you're looking at reducing STDs in the gay community and people are not going on board with millennials and they're acting like they're better than other millennials that are coming out about this type of social justice education. People are not happy with themselves because they've been playing dress up. I've been saying for years, dress up is over because of money and debt that you can't live with. You need to look at the relationship and the connection you have to money as a growing thing that takes integrity as you take inventory. People aren't going to teach you this when they teach you to spend your money. Okay? They're not teaching that when they advertise to get you to put money back into the economy to get you to shop. All right? You need to be very astute. Hey, if I'm a gay man talking to you about your debt, then maybe it can help you start to accept gay people. You and Christians don't have to be scared of something that's different than them. If you make it here, you have to sleep with it here. And you have to have a sense of living with people, cohabitors. You are not allowed to show off and be incomplete. If you're going to show off, it's because you know something that you want to share with the world. And you have addressed your misbehaviorism, your under-earning, your debtor mentality, your lying, the way you misrepresent yourself in your business, and you're bankrupt, and you deceive people, you steal from people to get them to shop. And you have these ideas that you can make money off of people's compulsive shopping because you're a hoarder of your own ego and the memories that you create with your money and your self-imposed deprivation because you are a liar. And you think you have clarity, but you're very vague. And you know something is very wrong. And you need to sit down with yourself and create a vision retreat statement. And a vision tries to help you get something done and to present a vision board and to give yourself a type of business where you're not going to be lying and you're going to be in the ebb and flow of terror and you're going to be making the right decisions because you terrorize yourself by participating in your own wrong welfare, by supporting family wreckers, encouraging fathers to lie about their money to their wives, to call their wives whores. You gay men have got to you got to not mistreat yourself, and you have to reorient and remanage your thinking on the way you perceive these heterosexual men that are really more messed up than you gay men. And this is how you direct financial debt to a place of recovery. And that is important because in the urging matters of telling the truth and coming out of your closet, you as men must be connecting with other men and not let men get away with shit. At the bottom of the issue is a spidered down contempt. And you are blinded by your own resentfulness and your own anger and hatred in the politician radical slurs that you think is okay. It's not, because you think you want to drain the swamp with Donald J. Trump, and you're going to address these issues with Tyler Hamilton, because this is about ending corruption and greed. Okay, when you talk about ending corruption, you're also talking about ending human greed. And Donald J. Trump and the supporters for him are still yet seeing that, and the Democrats are still yet seeing that in their own lives as well. And everybody is on the same playing ground. So, please, people, honestly understand that social alchemy projects access management is for those that are rejected, that feel defeated, that are invisible, that are poor, that are hated, that are misunderstood by Christians, and Christians run the other way as though you are a criminal. You are beautifully criminal, and you seduce them and you got them with your heart, and they resent you and they're fighting you because they don't want to admit to how broken our spirits are and to how discriminated against you've been and how hitting rock bottom means you need help financially. It's about getting needs met. feeding the homeless, feeding the starving, clothing the naked and not taking advantage of them and having sex with them unless they want it. Being honest about, and these people are of age, thank you. And, uh, you know, um, shelter for the homeless and love for the loveless and to be friends of the friendless and to find that the imperfection is the perfection. And this approval system of America, got to go to the right school, got to go to the right blah blah, to have a living, to get a job, to not get homeless, to get off food stamps, and, in a capitalist world that's dumbing people down and making money off of their uh, compulsive shopping is encouraging debtors thinking. So if you're a Republican and you're a Christian and a capitalist, and your legs are crossed like a good little cunt that you are, I want you to know, people, that that hurts people, because when you're showing off your money because you have it and you're not complete in here and you're hating people from your heart, it makes it where you are a weapon and an enemy to the gay community. So I want gay men to understand that I know it's a lot of hoopla, a lot of uh, sugar-coated talk. People don't want to hear about LGBT, they're tired of it. Well, then let's swing back over to just studying the gay man. And I think we can make all of the right connections to other men. And people are going to reject you for that when you stand tall in your social justice education prevalence, your democracy promotion without force, your re-engineering the mental illness leaders, okay, and you're directing them toward an energy learning center at Social Alchemy Project Access Management, Sweet Beverly, Beverly Hills. And, if people are ignoring you and you thought they were going to be your friends later on in your life, get in their face and cuss them out and hold them accountable and say, what have you done? You've cheated me. You've cheated me. And people need to understand that they like abuse and they're sick. People are sick. They wish harm to people at the subconscious level, and they don't consciously know that they wish people harm. Let's peel off the mask, okay? And some people happen to be gay, and let's not be haters to them because you have not participated in your homosexual politics and your gay politics and your sexual identity, okay? And your diplomacy of homosexual democratic spirit going throughout the world in a world coalition, in a project. I love you, and I hope that this brought you some enlightenment.